guys, and welcome back to another week of Porsche Cup action here at the Barber Motorsports Park. My name is Matt Emery with Coach Dave Academy here for another hot lap guide for week 7 of this season. And yeah, let's get into the hot lap. So let's get into hot lap guide then for the Barber Motorsports Park circuit. Quite a front limited circuit, especially in this car with the quite heavy nature of the car. You just tend to understeer quite a lot, and there's a lot of long sort of medium to high speed corners. So you will find the car is a bit hesitant to turn. You're gonna have a lot of understeer, so just be mindful of that heading into your laps. But head down towards turn 1, just make sure we're sticking it to the right hand side as much as we can to open up the left hander for turn 1, and then braking just before the 200 meter board, or I'm not sure if it's 200, the 2 board on the right hand side before the corner. Braking about 50%, you see we trail off quite quickly here, especially the downhill as well. You want to reduce your pressure as you're going downhill, and that goes for quite a few of the braking zones here as you're plunging quite heavily downhill. If you are struggling with locking up your front tyres, just go to the rear with the brake bar, just a couple of clicks, and that should help with the front locking. Yeah, braking just in front of the 2 for turn 1, then downhill into the apex. You don't really want to touch the curb as it unsettles the car, and let it run out, and then get it back slightly to the left, just in line with this sort of crack in the tarmac there. And then again, one of these really long corners, second gear, let it run slightly wider initially out here just to get a better exit. You're trying to V the corner off slightly. It's a very long corner. I'd say this track is a lot better in, say, the IndyCar or the Formula cars. They have a bit more aero you can work with. But be really patient. Short shift up to third, and then get on the throttle. Still notice we're about 90 degrees on the steering rotation. As you can see here, so it's going to destroy your front tyres here in particular. So just make sure you're looking after them a bit in the races, because you're going to lose more and more front grip through the stint. And then on full power, we pop over the crest and head down towards another one of the hairpins. And then again, braking just in line with the 3 on the right hand side. Get outside the car again. Yeah, just in line with the 3 here. Start to slam the brakes on. And again, not braking too hard as we've got a downhill braking zone. Down to first gear and then back on the power. And just going to hop into Delta to show you what that looks like with the telemetry. So let's hop into Delta then, just analyse the throttle, brake traces and things like that, which you get all in the Delta app. So see, initially we're just heading down to the braking zone. We want to just ease the brake on very gently here. Obviously Delta breaks down the exact percentage, so you know how much to brake for each corner really. So you see the maximum pressure here is about 71%. And then we just gently trail off it towards the apex. Also got all the other stuff down here like steering angle. So for example, you can compare your own laps to this and see if you're steering too much or not steering enough, or not trailing the brake enough. It'll break all of that down. It'll have your own line here as well. And also it has a delta at the top. You can't see it because it's faded out. But it'll compare every corner, see where you lose time, maybe where your stronger corners are as well. But yeah, we definitely recommend using this. This will really help you find the last few temps that you're looking for. But yeah, into this corner, you can just see we're being really gentle with the brake pedal in general, and that's how you want to be with this car. And then just holding the brake at a nice steady platform and just gently releasing it, and then getting back on the power. But yeah, let's crack back on with the hot lap. Heading back towards another heavy braking zone. Just again, braking in line with the two on the left-hand side. This one's actually a bit of a tricky chicane. Initially, you don't brake too heavily, then it gets tighter and tighter, and again plunges downhill. It's actually a very tricky, probably the hardest corner on the track, I'd say, actually, just as you're bumping over the curbs as you do it. So you clip this first apex here, clip this second one, completely straight line this section. This bit's not really a corner. And then again on the curb, on the apex, still in second gear, a lot of lock, and then on the throttle as early as you can again. Let the car run out. And then back to the right-hand side, flick it left over this curb. The curbs generally are quite forgiving in this car. So it's not too bad. Obviously, we missed the one at turn 1, but these ones you want to hit just to make sure we're shortening the corner and not making it too long. It obviously just helps the minimum speed as well. So completely flat through the first one, and then a big lift through the second one, just as the car naturally understeers wide. And then slight bit of grass on the exit and back on full throttle. Back to the right-hand side again, and then braking just after the number 2 on the right-hand side. And then we plunge again, back downhill. Very slight bit of braking here. Get the car into the first curb again, just open up the second apex. And then down to third gear, again using the curve on the right-hand side. You guys might not be too familiar with this track, so I'd definitely suggest watching a few hot laps and doing a lot of practice. A lot of the corners are blind, and this is a really good example. So it's really high speed, but you can't really see from the cockpit too much of the track. So you come here, hop over this curb, and it's quite hard to know where the track goes from here. So just make sure you are doing your practice laps. The track is there eventually, and you can see it, but just bear that in mind. It's quite a tricky track just for general sort of reference points as well. So just definitely do your homework and your practice for this week. But yeah, down to third gear, slight bit of curve, back on full throttle. The car gets a bit oversteery over the crest, so just watch out for that. Pop it downhill. This is probably the longest corner on the track. You notice how we're feathering the brake and the throttle at the same time here, just to get the car turns. I just play it through for you in slow motion, actually, just so you can see that a bit better. But just pay attention to this throttle and brake trace here. So we're just really being careful with the throttle. Also using a bit of the brake just to get the nose in. And then we get to the apex for the penultimate couple of corners. And again, just make sure we're clipping this curb on the inside. And then setting up the final corner. So being as close to the right-hand side and the apex of this one as possible. And back on the throttle to the right-hand side. Slight bit of brake on the way in. Just a slight dab. And then full throttle, using all of the exit curb, and that completes the lap of this Barber circuit. So that was the hot lap guide then for week 7 at the Barber Motorsport Park circuit. I hope that's useful for you guys. As usual, check out down and below the Discord and also coachdavecademy.com for all the latest data packs. But yeah, for myself, I will see you next week. Take care, guys.